I love it. So I'll start us off. Welcome to Two Cities, where two friends in two different cities build communities of faith together. I'm Chad Brokaw here in Chicago. This is Jamar Brown King in Atlanta. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Doing good, man. It's been a good past couple of days. How about yourself?
Very good. Very good couple of days. My wife and I went to Wisconsin and hung out with Amelie and her
Nice.
mom and her mom's husband and their daughter Elena and grandma and grandpa on their end. It was like we had the whole family and we're part of it. Yeli and I were both saying like, yeah, it's our family too. Amelie connects us, so it was awesome. We went out to the lake and we did some paddle boarding. Yeli doesn't swim, so her to be out there in a board in the middle of the lake, it was incredible. So it was great family
That's
time.
awesome.
Yeah, it's super beautiful. Just a testament to how God can restore anything.
Yeah, that's cool. I feel like that should be a story sometime down the road.
But we'll do it. We'll do it. It's
Yeah, I think
it's
I
it's
think people need to hear that.
I'm actually working on something. I'm going to LA for a men's camp, and I'm working on something that is in that same vein of like, with men that are struggling with their marriages or have gone through divorce or a separation of some sort, like how to use the scriptures and rebuild a life. And that's kind of one of the things I'm working on right now. And I love it and hate it at the same time because it feels like a story. To be honest, Jamar, it feels like a story that I lived a decade ago, maybe 5 years ago, and I've moved on to so many other stories. And there's new things happen in my life. It almost feels kind of like, well, that was so in the past. Like I'm good. Like I'm so good now. But then I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, but these are materials that are really helpful for somebody going through it right now. So I don't know if you ever come up with that. It's like, oh, I'm sharing the old divorce story,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like I'm not that beat up, broken, bruised. Oh my gosh, I have this analogy of like the way when I was going through and I'm writing this currently right now, so I'm reliving it. But there was a pain that was so severe that the only way I could articulate was saying like, if I just wanted to rip off my skin and just run. Now
Mm,
that was very real feeling. As I talk about it a decade later, like, or more than that, I'm like, "What does that even mean?" Like, I gotta remember
yeah.
what that sounds so gnarly, but it was this idea of, like, I wanted, because the pain that I was feeling, there was no sword inside of me. It's like, "Oh, well, there's a sword inside my chest. I know what this pain is. It's because there's metal penetrating my
Yeah.
chest cavity, and I'm not." But my heart was hurting at such a level. I felt like by ripping the skin off, and running through air as it goes through every nerve, that at least I would know where the pain is coming from and that I had done it to
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
So that would be better than living in this pain that I don't, that it's not done. It's being done to me, but
Yeah.
I'm responsible. Anyway, uh, so yeah, as I'm opening that up, and this is, yeah, a story for another time for sure. We can get into it, especially as I develop this idea of how to help men from brokenness back to wholeness. Um, yeah, I think there's something there, like digging up the past, even though I'm so over it, but
Yeah.
it's helpful, and I think it's a way of being of service and taking something, an old pain, and maybe reliving it so that maybe someone can find freedom and healing. So,
Yeah, man. That's super important. You know, like you gotta have that. Well, also, it's just like you've been there, so you're just guiding and helping people to go through something, and you might be able to actually give some words to what a lot of people are feeling, and maybe they
mhm.
don't know, and so it'd be good. That's good, man. That's great. I keep seeing the promo for it. That's awesome.
Oh, what's it
Men's
look
camp.
like? Oh,
It's
the
cool.
oh,
It's,
you
it's
you're seeing,
the
it
men's
looks
the
great.
men's promo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, it's been a while since I went to men's camp. It's been a long time, like a decade, I wanna say, since I went to men's
At
camp.
least you went to one. The only thing I went to
Yeah.
was the creative one, the Terra Nova.
Yeah,
It
Terra
wasn't it was
Nova.
co-ed, but
Yeah, yeah, I got co-ed. Yeah, we had a man camp. It was we had a I went to at least I wanna say 2 of them. I think. 2 of them. Yeah. So, that's sweet, man. Yeah, man, so, um, for me, I guess for this week, as far as the Mosaic Atlanta, it's just it's meeting people, building those relationships. We started doing a Bible study, this past week, which is great, just meeting people, um, and just starting to build those relationships, reaching out to people, inviting people. So it's just like this slow burn. Um, and then also I found another location that looks so sick.
mm,
It's like this little center, like the stage is in the center, but like everything else is around it.
yeah.
And it's kind of cool. And I reached out to it. So I reached out to them this few days ago, looking to hear back. But apparently, a church meets there on Sundays, and so the fact I think they'll be open to obviously having a church or a nonprofit come through. So that was really exciting. I was like, "Oh, this looks cool," and it looks dope. Like it looks really, really cool. And I think it'll be really awesome for like a worship night.
Does anyone else meet there? Like any other day of the week, or is it just that church on that Sunday?
That church on Sunday, but they also do events throughout the week. So if you go in there, you go. It's an actual event space. So they rent it out for weddings and for other places and for other things. And so um, it's just an actual event space.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as like me personally this week, it's been really really great, and I would say the conversation internally I've been having is this conversation of like, God, I just want to be where you are.
Mm,
I want to go where you want to go. But then also a conversation of just like obedience. Like, I
mhm,
just want to obey and listen to what you have to say. And so there's just been so many conversations with me and God, and um I talked about how last time I felt like I was in this season of a wilderness season, and we talked about how last time I was like, I think I'm on my way out. I think I'm almost there. And I'm like, me too. And I got this kind of like moment with me and God. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to have this conversation of like sequence and habits. And I feel like so many times for me, it's like when I was in this wilderness season, I felt like I missed out on things from God, or I missed out on opportunities. And this is where the conversation of like the conversation, but the talk of like habits and sequence. And I was doing the homework because I want to do this talk about the differences between the two, but like how sequences is like things that needed to happen before you can go to the next step. And so like for Jesus, like he had to go to the wilderness before he can start his ministry. Like that was a necessary step. Sequence is you are building a house. You can't build the roof until you build the foundation.
right.
You can't hang up pictures unless you build walls. There's a sequence to things. Things need to go in a certain order.
Oh, got it, in a certain order. Yep.
It has to go in a certain order. You
First
can't
things first.
skip. Yeah, you can't skip something and then go here. And
You know
or
how
your
I
favorite
learned that? You know how I learned
what?
that?
What?
Building IKEA furniture for my daughter.
Yeah.
If you skip one,
Exactly.
it ruins you. Make sure
Exactly.
yep, it's
It it's so true. You're totally right. You're totally right. Uh, IKEA can teach you the importance of sequence when it comes to following God. And I feel like there are things. There you go. There you go. There you go. You're doing it right now.
read it.
And so, like, there's And so for me, I was like, "Oh my gosh." And so I feel like when following God, like there are things that God wants to move you to the next thing, but what's preventing you or could be preventing you is your obedience
Mm,
or the thing that God is trying to get you to learn in that season of life. So like there's so many times I look at people and I'm all like, there's one person that I know and this person's like struggling and I feel like this person's like it's a friend of mine and I'm like, dude, I feel like you're in a season where it's like sequences where God has something next for you. Like it's like God has a house for you. He has this thing that's for you and he has plans for you. But he's not going to give you the house unless he gives you the foundation. And you've got to learn. I'm teaching myself this of like learning how to go, okay, God, where am I in this season in my life? I want to obey. I want to obey and I want to learn because because I want to move to the next sequence in my life. And it's not even about rushing it, right? Because you can't rush it. God will know when you're ready authentically. But it's like this difference between sequence to sequence to sequence. And then about habits. Because for a while, sequence and habits can almost sound similar.
mm,
And so like for me, the sequence are these big moments in your life, right? If you look at Jesus, it was like he got baptized, had to go in the wilderness, started his ministry, had to die on the cross, had to be risen from the dead, and then ascend into heaven. So there was a sequence, things that needed to be in place, things that had to happen in order for us to be where we are today, to have the relationship with him today. And so I'm like, I think there's sequences in our lives. God has a plan for us. God has a plan for you. There's a verse in Isaiah, and God is talking about Assyria, but he says this one part in verse 26. He goes, I have a plan. This is kind of cool. I have a plan for the whole earth, a hand of judgment upon all the nations. The Lord of heaven's armies has spoken. Who can change his plans?
yeah.
When his hand is raised, who can stop him? Like that to me is dope. Like that is like a heavy bar. God is basically going, listen, I've got a plan. I've got something in place. Who's going to change my plans? When my hand is raised, who can lower it? And I think there's something beautiful about that. So I've been like writing this talk and I'm like trying to put it together. And this being an actor, when you have a script, you have like an overarching theme. You have a beginning and you have an end. That's the whole point of a script, a TV show, a movie, a beginning and an end. And then you've got all the little mini scenes, right? The acts that help push the story forward.
Mm,
And I feel like God is like, hey, God has an overarching theme, an overarching plan. And you can either walk alongside that plan, those sequences, or you can either miss out on it or delay it by your disobedience, by not listening to what God is trying to teach you. And so, like, that's been kind of like on my mind. And then in between those sequences, you've got habits. You've got good habits, you got bad habits. There are good habits, prayer, reading the word, scripture. But then you have unhealthy habits. And how I think sometimes we think our habits is what's actually moving us forward. But if we're not careful, it's actually keeping us where we are because
mm,
we think that habits is what God is actually looking for. Habits are great. Habits are amazing. It's good to pray. It's good to read your Bible. It's good to have those. And habits can form you. The habits can form you and shape you. But I think if you're looking for that expulsion, you're looking for that propellant, it's a combination of, yes, having healthy habits and and listening, but it's also obeying to what God is trying to teach you in those moments because God will not move you to the next stage, that next sequence until you learn what he needs you to learn. And so for me, it all comes in the back of like that wilderness season of just like, hey, God's like, "Hey, I've got some things you need to learn during this season. You need to learn this, you need to learn that before I can move you into the next sequence." And so, I don't know, that's been something that's been on my heart for the past week is just like habits and sequence, and can pro habits can form you, but obeying God can propel you from, like, sequence to sequence. And, so there's something there. I'm still working on it. It'll be a little bit
Yeah.
before ever, but yeah, that's been, like, my conversation with God. That and obedience has been kinda like my conversation with God the past week.
Wow. That's awesome, man. I love the sequence idea. I was kinda like, where were you going with sequence? But when I realized, oh, it's an order to things, and that God's, kind enough and such a gentleman to not put you in a place where not only could it cause you injury, but the people around you. Like, imagine he he gives you the house and you're putting the people in it, but there's no foundation in it, and there's a calamity, and everything falls on all those people. It's just like, I wonder how many times he's protected us and saved that sort of catastrophe that we don't
Yeah.
know. The very thing I'm praying for, and I'm like, why didn't that
Yep.
seems like a really good thing. Why wouldn't God
Right.
answer that prayer? That seems like something
Right.
he would want. He's like, "Man, you don't even know. Like, the house you would have walked in, the roof would have fallen on everyone. It wouldn't have just injured
Exactly.
you, it injured the people that you care about so much." I
And
think.
and
Yeah,
what?
go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
And, like, so, like, eh, I don't know if this will make sense, but it's like I was reading, Job, not Job. I was reading Jonah, and it kinda goes back to the whole thing of, like, plans and, like, God has a plan for you. God has, like, this sequence for you. And I was reading it, and you have Jonah. God tells Jonah, "I need you to go to Nineveh and go preach against the city." And then he goes, "No." And he goes the opposite direction, right? He goes the opposite direction. And the question came up. I was like, "God, like, why are you sticking with Jonah?
Mm,
Like, why he ran the other way, so he got in the boat, and then you caused the waves and the winds, and then you had the fish swallow him, spit him back out. He still went, but, like, part of me is like, why stick with him? Why not just find somebody else who is willing to want to go to?" And it just for me, it just, what is it? It showed me the character of who God is. God is committed to the plans and the sequence for you in your life so much that he's willing to hold on to it and be committed to it, even if you're not aware of what he's trying to do.
mm,
It's like God is like, "I see you over here. I want you to be a part of this. There are things that needs to happen before you get here, but I'm standing here and we're way over here." And he's like, "I love you that much that I'm not willing to let you go just because you said no. I'm not willing to let you go just because you messed up. I'm not willing to let you go just because of whatever. I want to I have plans for you. I have things that I have, right? God has already have stuff for us to do in advance for us to do." I can't remember the verse, but he's got things for us already in advance for us to do. And God's like, "I'm willing to be here at the end and call you to this person, even if you sidetrack, even if you do this, even
mm,
if you go up and down." And to me, it just showed me like the character of who God is.
mm,
Like the sequence that God has for you is because he loves you. The plans that he has for you is because he loves you, because he wants to do this thing called life with you. And so, I don't know what that all entails, but I was trying to figure out, why do you still rock with Jonah when he said no? And I feel like God's like, "Because there's plans that I have for you that I'm committed to. Like, I'm committed to those plans, even if you're not."
mm.
So Yeah,
Yeah, it couldn't be more disobedient saying no. I
yeah.
mean, it was the opposite, but then he still didn't. I don't know. Did he skip the sequence, or did he create a new one?
I
Like,
think I think the sequence was he was supposed to go to Nineveh. That was, like, the thing, but he prolonged it. Like, eventually it was gonna happen. Like, like God's word does not return void. And so, like, I think for him, it was like he said no. It's like, "Alright, then, well, you're gonna get on a boat, you're gonna go to the ocean, you're gonna do all this stuff. You're gonna get swallowed by by a whale, spit out, and you're still gonna go to Nivea." And so, you know, I I think sometimes you can either delay the sequence or you can miss it entirely if you just keep saying no, because eventually God would be like, God's not gonna force himself on you. But, yeah, I don't know.
I've heard some people talk about, what would actually happen if you lived inside a fish for 3 days, and, like, the horrific, painful properties of that, and, like, what would actually
Yeah.
transpire, and it does make me think, like, when, you know, it'd be great to skip out on that pain just by being obedient. Not only is it delaying things, which can be painful, but you avoid, an entire ship wanting to cast you off the
Yeah.
boat. You avoid being swallowed by the fish, whatever that does to a human being. Um, yeah, just yeah. If maybe you just listen to God, you could maybe avoid a lot of those trials. But
I
God
think
doesn't
so.
waste anything. I'm sure He
No,
used
he
that.
doesn't. That's the thing, though. It's like it's like God's got you either way. Like,
Mm.
you can either, like, obey and go and do it and learn from that, or you can disobey and then go off a different tangent of a line of an exit, and God can still delay it, or God can delay the whole thing, but He'll still use whatever you messed up on for His glory and for His good, And so, like, it's one of those things where it's like I would rather obey than disobey because I don't think I would want to be swallowed up by a whale to learn a lesson. I think that's the one thing I've learned in the past couple of months is like, God, whatever you tell me to do, I will do. Like, I don't want to disobey anymore. I don't I don't I don't want to do partial disobedience. I just want to obey and just go where you're going, even if it doesn't make sense.
Jamar,
Even if I don't like it.
you're a better man than me. I I really wanna be obedient. I do, for the same reasons you just said. But I know there's sometimes where I'm just hell bent to not do the thing I feel God nudging me to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
resistant, I'm like, it's not, it hurts me to say it's not me, find someone else, like Jonah. It that that's painful. I really do want it to be me, but another part of me is just like the person I have to become, the cost that it's going to take is too much. That's like what is like in my fears, like when my mind, like let's just say, you know, Mosaic Chicago is super successful. I'm doing talks. I'm on stage and I'm communicating the gospel. I get terrified to do an all call for our volunteers. Like now I'm talking to people that don't know Jesus, maybe furthest from Jesus, and this is like it has to be so good that their whole future is,
Mm,
you know, from that conversation. And I'm like, there's a lot of great communicators. It doesn't have to be me. I'm down to do whatever else, but not that.
yeah.
But I do. Like I hear God, say, "Hey, you need to practice this skill. You need to work on this." And I'm like, I don't want to. I watch my video of myself speaking, and I'm like, "That's
Yeah.
trash." I don't.
But
Not only am
here's
I not going to give that give my life to Jesus after hearing that, I might consider other. It's just.
Yeah,
I
but I hear what you're saying because I was the same way when I came out here, but the thing is, like, when you st wait, like, when you start obeying God, you start to realize that it's not you.
mm,
Like, if God has called you to do something, then God is well aware of where you are and what you lack,
mm,
right? Just think about Moses, right? It's like, like, I can't speak. I don't have the words. I'm not eloquent. And God's going, who gave you your tongue? Who's the
mhm,
one that made your mouth? And so, like, as much as you don't feel quote unquote qualified, I would say, dude, you, you should, I would rather you stumble and obey than fall back and disobey. There's a verse that comes to mind. Um, Stumble verse. Um, what was it? It was oh yes, Psalms 37, right? Psalms 37. Let me see if I can pull this up on the big one. The Bible
while you look that up, I'm not like, I don't wanna trash myself.
37.
I don't wanna beat myself up. Like, there's a lot of things, I'm being obedient to. I just notice where I'm resistant.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I practice somewhat, but am I really stepping into it? I'm noticing. I'm noticing like,
Mhm.
dang, God's told me something and I've left it on the back burner and I brought it maybe up to the front burner occasionally and then I put it back and I'm tiptoeing around it. So, but it's lukewarmy or for a Christian term. And I want to get in, I want to step fully into that. But anyway, I opened up to Psalm 37.
Psalm 37, verse 24, it says, verse 23, the Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. Again, this whole thing about plans, right? Sequence. Though they stumble, they will never fall, for the Lord holds them by their hand. And I think that part of understanding with God is like you're right. You won't be able to do this without God. You won't be able to do this. We're not the best communicators. We're not the best at, X, Y, and Z. But that's like the beauty of who God is. It's like, hey,
Mm,
listen, I didn't pick you, Chad, because you were the best at speaking. I picked you because you're the one that's going, or whatever you feel like God has called you to go to Chicago. And I think for me, it's like even if I suck, even if I fall short, and this is something that I learned when I first moved out here because I had the same thought and the same mindset when we were doing mosaic houses. I was like, you guys don't want to hear me. You want to hear Erwin. That's who you want to hear, not me. And this one guy came up to me and he said, Jamar, and this is early on in the mosaic houses, early on when I was there. And he said, Jamar, we want to hear you. And it rocked me. And it hit me to my core that I started like tearing up. And I was like, kind of like, it just like, I don't know what it was. It just spoke to me. And, and it took me a while to be like, for me, during this time, I was like, Irwin's in LA. I'm in Atlanta. The people here in Atlanta want to hear what God is doing through me, not through Irwin. Not saying that Erwin, he's not the boss, whatever. It's like it was almost as if God's like, Jamar, you need to have your own stories with me. You need to have your own talks. You need to have your own aha moments. You need to have your own stories about you and me because it will be unique before the people that you are going to be speaking to. So, like, for me, it's like, and that was something that I was like, I had to like get over. Like, You're gonna yeah, you're gonna suck. It's gonna I'm gonna suck. It's not gonna be good. But I'd rather go yes and
mm,
let God go before me and do what only He can do, which is through us and through the Holy Spirit, than to not do it and to miss out on what God's doing, because I don't wanna miss out, or to delay because God said, "I told you to go. I told you to go speak." And that's the part that I'm at right now where I'm like, "Whatever you say, God." I even today, my in-laws, they went to go to 30A, which is like a beach in Florida, and, to go hang out. And I was like, "Oh," and I felt this like, "Hey, give him $200." And I was kind of like, "Okay." And I'm all like, "But why?" And I was like, "Nope, nope, that's from you, God. That is from you. So I'm going." I was like, "I'm going to obey." Went on Venmo, did it as fast as I could, because I wanna get into this habit of, like, listening and going, "Whatever you tell me, God, I wanna get in the habit of trusting you, even when it doesn't make sense. Even when everything else around me, just like what's his name? Was it Peter walking out on the water? Even when the winds and the waves are crashing all around me, if you call me out, I will go. I will go, and I will let you handle the waves and the winds. I will let you handle all the critics. I will let you handle all of the shortcomings. I will let you handle all of the places that I fall short, as long as I obey. Because if you obey, that's where you will be. You will be with him. You will be with him when you obey. That's where you'll be. And I would rather be with him and at least be in his presence by obey. I would rather be in his presence by obeying than not to be in disobedience. Like, to me, this past couple of days, bro, has been that. Like, I am at, like, a level of, like, "Let's go, God. Where do you wanna go? Where do you" I even actually told Kenzie, I wrote this in my journal. I said, "Kenzie, I think our lives is about to change, and I think we need to be ready for whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, I just wanna give you a heads up right now. I wanna give you a heads up right now. It might seem crazy, and it might be wild, but wherever God tells us to go, I need you to trust me, and we're just gonna have to say yes to whatever
Mm,
he says."
mm,
So, I say, I will get off of my little soapbox, but I don't know, that's the one thing that I'm learning about God right now is total, utterly obedience.
mm.
And I think it's because of the wilderness, because I wanna get out. I wanna I don't wanna I don't wanna ever go back to that ever again. So if God says, "Do this," I'm like, "Yes, yes, sir, I am there. You tell me where to go, you tell me how high to jump, and I will jump. You want me to do whatever, I will go." So, anyways,
Wow,
I'll
what a gift the wilderness is.
oh my gosh, bro. It's one of those things where it's like a catch-22. It's like, it's something that I'm like, I don't ever want to be in again. I don't It's not something that I'm like, I can't wait for God to put me in a wilderness season. But dude, I was driving, bro, and I was like, God, I am so thankful.
Mm,
I am so thankful
mm,
that you love me that much, that you're willing to pause things, to make me go to a place where I have to I could either run away from you and blame you for why my life isn't what it is, or I could lean into you. And I've been seeking his face. Remember I told you last time, I've been like, what is the seeking his face? Dude, God has been speaking to me more than he has in the past 4 years that I've been out here since I moved
mm.
out here. In the past, I want to say 2 weeks. He has spoken to me more than I have ever imagined. Did I tell you about the one time I was listening to the podcast on YouTube? And I did I tell you that?
Mm-mm.
What?
No.
I was sitting here having my moment with my Bible time. I don't believe in coincidences. So, like, I'm having my Bible time, and I see this. Before that, I saw a video on TikTok. I'm like, "Oh, that's a really cool video of these two people speaking," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go find that podcast." So I go on YouTube, I find the podcast, I hit play, and about 10, 15 seconds in, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta read my Bible." So I pause it and I go to my Bible and I go for some reason I got to the verse of, his ways are not my ways and my ways are not his ways are higher. I told you this, right? I told you this before this. No?
Just remind
Okay,
me.
even if I don't. And and so I'm reading it and it's about his ways and, my ways and the verse about how, he speaks and his voice doesn't come back. When God speaks, his words do not come back void. And I'm reading that one part about his thoughts and his ways and my thoughts and my ways. And I go, God, is it okay if I watch this video? Because I feel like this video is kind of like relating to my life right now. I was like, is it okay if I watch this? And I sat there for like 30 seconds and I was like, yeah, I think it's totally fine. So I closed my Bible and I'm going to go back and watch this video about this whole thing. And I hit play. And the very next words out of the pastor's mouth is the verse that I read. His ways are not my
Wow.
ways, and his thoughts are not my thoughts. Like it was like I didn't even hear it. But somehow that day, when I paused it at that video and I happened to open that verse for that particular day, it was
Yeah.
like a confirmation of God's like, yes, that yes, yes. And so like I can't tell you how many times, bro, I've had these little moments. I had a dream and I couldn't figure it out, but I had this dream and I felt like God was speaking and he said that I am found in the mundane.
Mm.
It was like Jesus is found in the mundane, and it was like this kind of like Jesus and then mundane, and like Jesus was like kind of blended in mundane. And I'm watching another video, and the person in the video says it the same exact way, verbatim in my dream. And I'm like, bro, I'm just like, dude, God, you're doing something. So I'm ready. Like, you're speaking, I'm listening. Whatever you say, I will follow.
Obey.
I am done speaking now.
No, are you kidding me? That's awesome, man. That's so good. I've had some like yeah, wild moments like that where serendipitous, like just so like why are these things connecting? It's like
Yep.
to me that's God speaking to you. Same. I opened my scripture randomly after on a cloudy day, just talking about like how do I shine light in for others? Like how do I bring light where there's darkness? And I'll send you a picture of it later. But as I open up the scriptures through the window, through the clouds, maybe the sun popped up a little bit, but it drops a rainbow across the scriptures, and then the verses. Oh, did I? Wait, hold on, maybe I got it. Did I bookmark it? Because I was like, I know I took a picture of it. No, it was in No, it was in Old Testament, but,
It's like
I'll send you the picture later,
yeah,
but it was
yeah,
just like,
send it.
"What?" Like,
Yeah.
"What? There's a rainbow on my Bible right on this word, like, to shine your light," and I thought it was yeah, it's been great. Thanks for sharing that story, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
dude. Yeah, man. That's my thing. What's going on with you? How are things going with you, Chicago?
Well, I'm excited about Saturday. Saturday, we have our first hang. I sent an email blast to anybody that's shown any interest in mosaic in Chicago.
Oh, that's right, that's right, that's right.
Yeah, we've got some really great response. It is a holiday weekend, so there's a lot of people out of town, which is fine because they're responding. They responded to the email saying, "Hey, we're so excited. We love Mosaic." They're sharing their stories of how that how Mosaic is like done something tremendous in their life, and it's really cool to hear those stories, and we get to respond. But so some people won't be there, but there's still like a good group. And I was praying with Yali. I was like, if it's just 10 people, if we just have 10 people, new people that I've never met before that live here in the city, that'll be a fun hang. And so we have it. We have at least there that have said so far that they're
Nice.
coming, and they're just great people, really cool, sharp, awesome. Uh, great conversations already just through email and text. So we're gonna meet on Saturday at this place called Timeout Market, which is like the Grand Central Market in downtown Los Angeles. Like, it's just like
Okay.
a little
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
bites from all over. Well, Timeout's more like Chicago, local Chicago restaurants, but they bring them in one place. So you can try a little bit of Chicago
Oh, that's
in
cool.
one place, and it's a really cool spot. Yeah, and we're just gonna get together and talk about, like, I'll cast a little vision, like, thoughts that I have and pull them in. I think that the number one thing I'm gonna ask right away is, "Hey, if you're interested in this and you'd love to see a mosaic here in Chicago, put your money where your mouth is, and let's just start giving right now." You go to mosaic.org/Chicago and go
Yeah,
to the giving page and start tithing. This is
yeah,
and share, I'm not taking a salary. Like, we're not this is not it's all coming out of our pocket.
for sure.
For me, I'm gonna share that the whole reason I'm one of the main reasons I'm doing this is for my daughter. Like, I want her to have a mosaic. And I saw her come into faith in LA, especially when she moved into youth. And I was like, I want to build a youth ministry that's thriving here in Chicago. So if they're interested in that and they want that for their kids and for their family and for then let's just jump on board and let's build something together. So,
Awesome. Yes. Yes. How did that phone call go with Andreas? Or on
oh, the one I was just on.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was he was just asking me about. So at the Rialto Theater, there's movie
Oh,
posters. It's dumb. Just
I thought it was Andreas from Ecuador.
no, but
Andre
I have
Yeah.
talked. Yeah, Yaley and I got on a phone call with him early on when we were still in LA, and we were like,
Oh, nice.
"How did you do it?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
did
yeah,
like
yeah.
how is it? How's
What'd he say?
Quito?" A lot of amazing things. I think I definitely highly recommend you and Mackenzie just jumping on a call with him. But I think the big thing is he spent an entire year just
In
in unstoppable
Unstoppable
force.
Force. Yeah.
Yep.
I talked to him when we were at I don't remember the staff retreat that we had at, what's his name? Our friends. He had the cottage, the cabin a couple years ago on the lake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about?
know what you're talking about. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about. But that was when the last time it was the last time that I came to staff retreat.
Mhm.
And I asked him, I said, "Hey, what was the thing that," he goes, "I we took a whole year and um we went through chapter by chapter Unstoppable Force."
Well, that's what I'm gonna do. It's a sequence. It's like building that foundation before you put up walls and stuff. It's like, this is what I wanna meet some people. Obviously, I wanna bring some people together and identify, some people that are hungry, people
Yeah.
smart, humble, really wanna see a mosaic here and say, "Hey, let's just do Unstoppable Force." Let's do a book study. I don't know about a whole year.
Yeah. I hear that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can figure a way to make it work, you know?
Can
You
we
can
build can we build this foundation in 3 months?
you can go pretty fast.
Yeah,
Um, but to his point, like he took a long time building that foundation, and look what he's got.
and
Look
it's
what he's
so
built,
successful. Yeah, it's
you
it's
know?
doing really well, it's rich, it's healthy, it feels like a mosaic. Nobody there knew what mosaic was,
Yeah,
that was one thing he was saying. It's like, he'd been doing conference, but then he asked Pastor Irwin if they could stay with him for a month. I think he just wanted to learn like, how does Pastor Irwin navigate these conversations, leadership, how is he
right,
with
right,
staff, and just
right.
wanted to absorb as much of those things as possible. And well, I mean, we don't need that part. Like, we were on staff for years, and like, we're
Yeah,
close with Pastor Irwin and learned that, but he needed to learn that part, and then he needed to give that away to his team. And the best way was he did with Unstoppable Force. I really like that book. That book's been transformative for me, even if I wasn't building a church, just building healthy ecosystems and how I run my family and how we run our family. Um, and the other one is Barbarian Way.
Yeah.
I love that book and that
Yeah.
there's something in the Uprising just for character stuff. I think that there's such a great
There's
book.
a lot.
Yeah.
There's a
But
lot.
definitely. So how's, you already kinda shared a little bit, how's the Bible study?
It's going well. It's going good. We didn't meet this past Monday because some people are gone for vacation. Like one of my guys, he's gone for work. Another couple was gone because they went to San Francisco. It was Tega in London. They're
Mhm.
in San Francisco.
Like seeing
Another
a Cubs
person,
game.
yeah. And so and then they've got some friends that they're inviting for this coming week. So it's going well. We're meeting at a place called Switch Yards, which I told you about, which is
Yeah,
really cool. These
love it.
co-working spaces in Atlanta. And so it's been really just been like, God, how can I be like with the people that you've given me? How can I be faithful with them?
Mm,
How can I be mindful for them? And so, but one thing that I want to do, and I want to, maybe just give you some tools too, is like I in Atlanta, I saw these things where they've got nights where they have game nights, and what was it? There was two things. Oh, two things. One was there's an app, a website, and this is crazy, bro. And I think it's pointing in the direction which I think is so important. You can pay like 20 something bucks a month or whatever, and this website or this company will pair you up for coffee dates. Not like romantically, but just for you to meet other people. So what happens is you take a questionnaire, you fill it out, they find out your questionnaire, they find out your answers, and they try to group you into a group of people that meet at different coffee shops all over the city. And there's only so many seats. So you got to pay, whatever. And I thought that was really interesting. And I'm like,
mm,
okay. And then I saw something on Instagram where they had a Uno night where they just had people come and go to a bar and had Uno night. And they just have like, and it got packed. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait, okay, people are paying to do community. And then you've got people who are packing out bars to play Uno. And there's a part of me that's like, dude, I think this time that you're in, I think there are people that are so desperate for community
yep,
that they're willing to pay to just go have coffee with someone. And they're willing to come out and play a game of Uno in a bar just to be around other people. And so I'm like, so for me, I was thinking about this past week. I was like, man, when we have like either it's like, you know, Bible study at dinner parties or like or groups, whatever. It's like it doesn't have to be that complicated. Just find something that you like to do, like doing something like Uno and just have fun and like invite people or going to just go once a month. We're going to meet here for coffee and just invite people to coffee because to me, when I saw both those things, I was like, man, I think there are people who are really thirsty for friendship and
yeah,
just trying to find other friends. And I'm like, as a church, it's like this is something that we got to do. Like this is what I'm like. You're basically wanting to do church. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
Like community. Like that's what. And it's
that's what it
like
is.
people are paying for it. So I don't know. That was my thought.
I love that, and as you're playing Uno and having a great time, I'm sure, but you're not just talking about Uno the whole time.
No, no,
You're
exactly.
probably not even talking about it unless when somebody puts the switch card, but other than that, most of the conversation is about everything else. You're learning about well, even last night, the pickleball group we had afterwards, and I packed up the net, the sun was kinda down, and we hang out for, like, an hour just talking, just about life, movies we've seen, connecting, um and it gets spiritual, man. It's impossible not to, it's
Yeah,
like you start talking about purpose and meaning and why are we here,
yeah,
and yeah, so I think, like, one of my best ministries I've ever done are just something I just enjoy doing, just
yeah.
fun playing games.
There you go. So I don't know. For me, just starting up stuff here, I'm like, okay. It's like Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, you know? But anyways, man, how can people find you if they are wanting to find out more about Mosaic Chicago? Where can they
Yes.
find you?
You go to mosaic.org/Chicago, RSCP. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff soon, but also just follow me on TikTok. I'm documenting as much of this story, including this podcast, of what it's like to build a campus from a mosaic from the ground up in a city. So my TikTok, it's my name, Chad Brokaw.
Nice. Nice, bro. And if you're looking for Mosaic Atlanta, you can go to mosaic.org/Atlanta. You can also go to our Instagram, Mosaic Atlanta, mosaic.atlanta. And I even put our phone number in the bio. So if you want
Okay,
to stay up to date, you want to know what's going on, text us. We'll make sure that we get your information. And then, of course, you can find me on TikTok, Jamar Brown King. Super simple. Instagram and TikTok. Awesome, bro. Another one's in the books. I will. The cool thing about this Riverside thing is like I'm just gonna let it do its thing, which is
it just
awesome.
does it. I know
It
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 looked
it
so good.
does it. It just does it. You know, there's some parts. Yeah, I think it might be good to go back and like figure out which ones, but to like fine tune it. But for right now, like it clips all of it. So,
So cool,
all
man.
right, man.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging. And
Yeah,
I'll talk to you. I'll probably see. I'll talk to you this week,
yeah, maybe Wednesday if Aaron's
Wednesday.
down. We'll
Oh
see.
yeah, we'll see. All right, man. Love
Bye.
you.